Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome to Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector. Now this game is produced by Millenium Games, but created by Black Lab Games, those of Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, and who brought us 2 fantastic seasons of real-time strategy. Let's take a look. Upon loading up the game, you are greeted with the Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector main menu. All the old favourites are here, the ability to have new campaigns, load games, go into a skirmish, engage the tutorial, or go into the options. The options having some of the best options and control on how you want to experience the game. That being through graphics, windowed, full screen, what resolution, and then also getting into the controls UI as well. How much detail do you want to have displayed on the screen? You can also select your native language of choice and check out the data privacy policy from Black Lab and Millenium Games. All that being said, a quite functional interface, no nonsense, lots of stuff that you can tweak to your own personal preference. A great option as well is a media browser. Millenium and Black Lab Games have also put in a camera mode that you can take a good look at some of the fantastic models Black Lab have put into the game. These are by far some of the best Warhammer 40,000 models I have seen in any game, and that's what you'd expect from a game of 2021. When starting a new campaign, you can get in and choose your difficulty settings, that from Initiate all the way up to Company Captain. That could also then be tweaked as well in regards to reinforcements, having enhanced units, reduced token rewards, anything to make the challenge a little bit easier or a little bit more of a challenge for you. It can be set here. Given all that, you can then load a game. Here I've got all my loaded games throughout the campaign, and I've been through the whole 20 mission campaign on this game, and it's absolutely fantastic. If you're starting out though, you can go into 3 tutorial missions and get to grips with the controls. In between the missions, however, you are greeted with this screen of the Age of Crimson Dawn campaign. You can see the planet of Baal in front of you and all the areas that you've gone to and any missions you've already completed. Going into army management will allow you to go and kit out your deployment of Blood Angels and Battle Sisters and other units you'll gather along the way to hit a certain unit cap. Adding a unit can be done from the left hand panel and will appear in the right hand panel. You'll see you've got a point cap there, and that changes from mission to mission. One of my main, I would say, niggles here is that for the mission that you're currently on, it doesn't show you what your point cap is. You have to go a few other screens in, and we'll come to that in a minute. As you see, as we've gone in to the actual mission, now the army point cap is displayed, and we all know how many army units to put in to be under our command. Either way, you're also able to click on these units and get a little bit of information. What are their special abilities? What are their action points? Are they the best fit for you for this mission? Going into the HQ Upgrade Center allows you to spend points, and these points you get token points and also bonus token points for completing missions. You can select your hero unit at the top, whether that be Lieutenant Kalian, the Priest, Brother Arturo, Sister Verity, and spend those points that you've accrued through your exploits in the campaign on embellishing them with better abilities that can help your army. Now, one point is that the voice acting. Warhammer 40,000 games, indeed Warhammer games, are very heavy on the dialogue. Some people may find that to be a little bit of a chore. Personally, I thought it gave so much more to the game, having that level of dialogue and voice acting done. If you don't want to hear it, click on Proceed, and it'll take you to a quintessential wallpaper loading screen as the computer gets itself ready. Hitting space at this point will then give you more pre-mission dialogue to give you additional context of what's going on. And again, you've got fantastic artwork put in place, quintessentially Warhammer 40,000. You get your voice acting, but again, if you get a little bit tired of this, you can hit skip. Once in a mission though, you'll have no doubt. It really does drag you into that ability of having a view of a board game. You've got squares of which you can move. You've also got units that you can see where you've got a mission cap or a point cap. You can only have 20 units on the screen that you can select at any one time. The ability to zoom in on the units really does bring in the graphical detail that Black Lab have put onto the Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector game. It's not only just about the Blood Angels, it's about the Battle Sisters, it's about the tanks, it's about the Dreadnoughts, the Land Speeders, the Scout Land Speeders. Each image is lovingly represented here in this game. Zooming around the map allows you to see red squares, which will use up all your movement points and will be at the limit of your movement, and white squares, which will allow you to move and still, for example, add overwatch or lay down fire to attack a particular unit. You can also see the daggers and swords on the ground. This shows you where you hit into a creature's zone of attack. As I mentioned before, Black Lab has put in a fantastic camera ability where you can get some fantastic screenshots in Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector. Hitting that old backspace key on the keyboard brings up the camera ability. There are several filters, the ability to change your field of view, and also you can tilt the image as well if you want to go all 1970s Batman on it. But you really can get some good icons for game uploads, or if you want to have those sort of images as desktop wallpapers on your Windows 10 PC or whatever PC you're running, you obviously can as well. You can also skip forward the frames if you want to get perhaps a shot of that particular model firing or moving or looking a certain way, and you can skip forward frame by frame. Moving on, you can set the focus distance, also depth of field and the aperture. I had a mixed response by using this. I couldn't really get the best things from depth of field out of it for me, even when setting the aperture size as well, but I'm sure that's more likely me than anybody else as well. It worked really well in Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, and the ability to take pictures with an in-game camera like this as well certainly adds to the fun. Even if you are a Warhammer 40,000 board player, these pictures as well could then be displayed on another device like a tablet or a phone when you're doing your board games as well, to add a little additional flair if you perhaps haven't got a model of this particular character. Setting things like the temperature and going through the filters, go through the predefined filters of the camera. And again, you can set things like borders, whether it be a cinematic border or no border. You can also decide where you want a logo, whether that be a Warhammer 40,000 logo or a Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector logo as well. Either way, the camera shapes up to be a great addition to the game. One thing I did find, however, with this game that I didn't find with Battlestar Galactica Deadlock was that with Battlestar Galactica Deadlock you were given an end of mission replay that would then encourage you to zoom around what just happened as the gameplay was recorded and see a representation in video and have the ability to zoom around with the camera. Here, you don't get that. And I do find that I forgot to use the camera and go in and have a look around the map and explore the models in greater detail because I was getting too caught up in the action. But that's a good thing. No? You want the gameplay. You want to be caught up in the action. You don't want to be zooming around all the time in a camera, no matter how impressive it may be. You want the gameplay and the narrative to carry you on so that you're excited to see what's going to happen in the next part of the particular mission that you're playing. I suppose if you do then remember to get the old camera out, then you can reap its benefits by getting the screenshots of your choice. But that's my opinion. As for the maps, the missions and the colour, you know it's Warhammer 40,000. Warhammer 40,000 is typically set in a Gothic or Neo-Gothic map and colour palette. However, you do get down to get onto the planets, which does lighten it up a bit. The shadow and shading and texture of the ground, obviously depending on the machine you're running on, is second to none. I'm running in 4K and I found no lagging, no problems at all with any of the models as well. Everything ran smoothly straight out the bat, so excellent optimization here by Black Lab. Something that an awful lot of other software houses could learn a lot from, especially upon release. Now, Slytherin and Black Lab Games have all been very good about hotfixes and also DLC that comes with these games. This game is going to be prime for DLC as well, and also it would be interesting to see what sort of future and ongoing roadmap that Black Lab has got planned, ready for the Blood Angels and Lieutenant Killian. The maps are well rendered, as I mentioned, and full of colour and the ability to show variety. You do get dragged into the sense of actually playing a board game, and it does capture the aspects of the board game as well. Using combat and movement couldn't be easier. It's typically point and click. You also get the ability to use special abilities, and you do get that feeling of peril when an attack, for example, on a unit fails, but also that feeling of elation when an attack succeeds. Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, created by Black Lab Games, published by Slytherin Games, and available on Steam, will be released on the 22nd of July 2021. If you are a Warhammer 40,000 fan, then this is the game for you. Even if you're not a Warhammer 40,000 fan and you like a bit of strategy, this could well be the game for you. I have found this to be the most engaging Warhammer 40,000 game I have ever played, and I have played quite a few. The action can be fast-paced and it can be slow-paced as well, depending on the individual player. It's up to you to customize and have the best experience of this fantastic game as you want it. I've been Ricardo. Thanks very much for watching this brief review and look at the camera on Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector. Hope you've enjoyed it. Take a look at my playthrough of the missions on YouTube and on Twitch. Like and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you soon.